Amelia loved long, solitary drives at night. The open road, the gentle hum of the engine, and the starlit sky above had always been her refuge. On one particularly moonless night, she set out on a journey to clear her mind, taking her old station wagon deep into the countryside. As she drove along the winding, desolate road, a sense of unease crept over her. The only source of light was her car's headlights, casting eerie shadows that danced through the trees. Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, but she attributed it to her overactive imagination. After what felt like hours, she stumbled upon a road she had never seen before, overgrown with bushes and barely visible. Curiosity got the best of her, and she decided to take the turn. The narrow road led her to an abandoned, run-down town where the eerie silence was almost deafening. Amelia parked her car by a derelict gas station and got out to explore. The town was a ghostly spectacle of decaying buildings, shattered windows, and graffiti-covered walls. She felt drawn to a particularly decrepit building that looked like it had once been a school. Inside, the air was heavy with a sense of sorrow. Amelia's footsteps echoed in the dimly lit corridor as she explored the classrooms. In one room, she found old, tattered textbooks scattered across the floor, a testament to a forgotten past. Deep in the heart of the abandoned school, Amelia heard faint, mournful whispers like the voices of the past. She followed the sound to a door, barely hanging on its hinges, and as she pushed it open, her heart skipped a beat. Before her, a group of shadowy figures gathered in a circle, their heads bowed as if in prayer. The whispers grew louder, and their mournful voices began to form words. They spoke of redemption, of long-buried secrets, and the need for someone to hear their story. Amelia listened in awe, realizing that the restless spirits of the abandoned town needed her help to find peace. They had been trapped here for decades, and only through her could their stories be told and their sins be forgiven. Determined to fulfill her role as their messenger, Amelia returned to her car and gathered her writing supplies. For the rest of the night, she sat in the heart of the abandoned town, penning the stories of the forgotten souls who had sought her out. With each word she wrote, the spirits' voices grew fainter, and a sense of closure settled over the forsaken town. When the first light of dawn broke, the spirits had found their peace, and Amelia, exhausted but fulfilled, left the town behind. As she drove away, she couldn't help but wonder if her midnight journey had been a chance encounter, or if the spirits had guided her there for a purpose. Amelia continued her night drive, her mind racing with the encounter in the abandoned town. The experience left her with a newfound sense of purpose. She knew she had to share the stories of the forgotten souls and offer them the redemption they so desperately sought. Amelia spent the following weeks researching the history of the abandoned town. She discovered that it had once been a thriving community until a devastating fire had wiped it off the map nearly a century ago. The spirits she encountered were likely the descendants of those who perished in the tragedy. With a sense of duty, Amelia reached out to historical archives, local newspapers, and even family descendants of the town's former residents. She wanted to ensure that the stories of the spirits were not forgotten and that their names were known. Word of her quest to give the lost souls of the abandoned town their peace spread, and people from far and wide offered their support. Many were willing to help her preserve the memory of the town and its unfortunate history. Amelia organized a memorial service for the spirits, inviting the descendants of the fire's victims to attend. The event took place on the grounds of the abandoned town, where once mournful whispers had filled the air. Now, the spirits were free to rest, having had their stories heard and their pain acknowledged. As the ceremony concluded, Amelia felt a profound sense of closure. She had fulfilled her role as their messenger and offered redemption to the restless souls. The abandoned town, once shrouded in darkness, seemed to breathe with new life as the morning sun bathed its ruins in warm light. Over time, the town's memory was preserved in museums and books, ensuring that future generations would remember the tragedy that had befallen it. Amelia's midnight journey, initially a solitary drive to clear her mind, had transformed into a purposeful mission to bring peace to the forgotten. Amelia often drove by the town, now embraced by nature, its ghosts finally at rest. She knew that her encounter with the spirits had been more than a chance event. It had been a calling, one that had changed her life and the lives of those who had joined her in preserving the memory of the abandoned town. As the years passed, Amelia continued to champion the memory of the abandoned town, working tirelessly to ensure that the stories of its inhabitants were passed down through generations. She wrote books, organized historical tours, and even initiated a restoration project to help bring some life back to the town's crumbling structures. The townspeople nearby began to recognize her as a guardian of history, a beacon of hope for a place that had once been forgotten. Families who once shied away from acknowledging their ties to the abandoned town now proudly embraced their roots. One sunny afternoon, as Amelia was walking through the town's once deserted streets, she noticed a group of children playing near a beautifully restored building. It was now a museum where the town's rich history was on display for all to see. The children's laughter and curiosity filled the air, a stark contrast to the ghostly silence of years past. Amelia couldn't help but smile as she watched the younger generation explore the town's history. She knew that the spirits who had guided her to this place had found their peace, and their memories would live on through the stories and artifacts she had preserved. Her journey, which had started as a solitary night drive, had transformed her life in ways she could have never anticipated. It had led to the redemption of an entire town, restoring not only its structures, but also the spirits of its past residents. As Amelia gazed at the town's rejuvenated streets, she realized that sometimes our paths take unexpected turns, leading us to places and purposes we could never have imagined. And in the darkest corners of the past, there is often a glimmer of hope, waiting for someone like Amelia to shine a light on it. And so the midnight journey to redemption came to a heartwarming conclusion, a testament to the power of a single person's determination and the enduring spirit of a forgotten town.